Very soon, our plant in Pune will be producing this steel. We have tied up, we have purchased, and we have set up our own solar power plants. And the 100% capacity of this power plant will be green. It's a matter of just few days. We have to just get the connectivity. Similar thing, which means if 30 million ton of steel is produced from electric arc furnace, you can reduce carbon dioxide to the extent of almost 27-28 million ton, which is more than 10% of total CO2 generated by the steel industry today. Second part is in DRI. Like stage 1, it is very difficult to convert all the coal-based DRI plants into gas-based. It will take some time. It will call for investment. Now, if these DRI plants are also able to use RE energy for subsequent conversion into steel, and if we do that, another 25-30 million ton of steel is produced, where instead of thermal electricity, we are using RE power, and to that extent, CO2 reduction will happen, which means another 25 to 30 million ton of carbon dioxide emission we are reducing. So if we do just these two things, we will be able to reduce close to 60 million ton of CO2. Now, issue is how this RE will come and whether it will be expensive. There are two parts. Now, manufacturing cost of RE, availability of land, and the transmission cost of RE and the state taxes by which it can reach up to the steel plant. Now in India, there is fairly large barren land is available. There are fairly large number of rivers and canals are available on which these solar power plants can be set up. There are a lot of hilly terrain where these solar power plants can be set up. Now, second part is the transmission of it. Today, our grid is able to transmit because finally total energy which is required to be transmitted will remain same, whether it is the solar power or whether it is from a thermal power. So if this is transported through the grid and state governments through intervention by the center charges only limited taxes or to the extent of line losses, does something, and it reaches to the DRI plants who are producing steel, then this 60 million ton can be done in a short term when I say in up to 2 years or 3 years time, which is over and above the subsequent development, whether it is syngas or whether by that time technology related to hydrogen is developed. Now the third perception is whether it will be much more expensive. Answer is no. You will save money. If the burden because of heavy wheeling charges or state taxes is partly taken away, then the landed cost of this energy will be much lower than 5 rupees per unit in your plant as against 8 to 10 rupees what is being paid today. So it is in the interest of everybody to start using RE power. One, as I mentioned, CO2 will come down, your manufacturing cost will come down, and now from where the money will come to set up this RE plants, because it means if for this 60 million ton of steel, almost 33 gigawatt of solar power plus wind power will be required. Now, a good portion of this money, if it is organized by the central level or through certain banks, there are a lot of green funds available globally, and those funds may be available where interest rates may not be higher. And if we use that, then the cost will come down further. Then another thing is the indirect benefits of this. Now if we do this, the thermal coal which the country is importing, that imports will go down, or it will go down substantially. So we will have a much better situation in the current account deficit or foreign exchange. So it will generate more than 2 lakh crore rupees worth of investment if this 33 gigawatt of solar power plants are set up in the country, which will generate much larger employment. So it is serving several issues. One, CO2. Number two, reduction of your cost. Number three, import reduction. You are using solar power which is renewable and which is sustainable. And in the next stage, as soon as the technology is available, then this DRI what you are producing today with coal, you convert into from hydrogen. So then the complete cycle will happen green. Third part, now the integrated steel plants. As my learned colleagues here have said, the technology for producing DRI from hydrogen is available. Now the issue is hydrogen. To me it appears it may take some time because there, one, again RE is required, much larger quantum of RE is required. Number two, from that RE to hydrogen production, and it is not only large scale hydrogen production, but even storage of hydrogen is required, even if it is to be used in an integrated steel plant, at the pressures at which it is required to be stored is very high, so it has to be ensured that it is really safe, and then from that it will be basically production of DRI and then electric arc furnace. And I full agreement with Sharma ji that for certain time, okay, production from blast furnace BOF is okay, but the time is coming very fast that we have to stop production by blast furnaces. So there is a way out, there is a short-term solution, there is a long-term solution. As a country, we can do it, and it is serving many benefits. Like another example, today almost 90% of our coking coal is imported. We are spending fairly large amount of forex in importing coking coal. Now the moment these technologies are available and we are using solar energy, then again the benefit is that we will not have to import, we will not have to depend on the volatility in the prices of in the international market of coking coal. As you people have seen, it has gone up from almost $150 to more than $600 coking coal, and of course it has come down to close to 300. So we will be immune to such things, and India will become not only a hub for meeting its local requirement, but it can export fairly large quantum, and we can do it like Europe has to. Europe still has to address the change from Russian gas or other Iranian gas to their own energy sources. But by that time, if we act fast, we can definitely do it, and we will become very cheapest producer of steel in the world, because energy will be very cheap and iron ore is captively available. With this, we will beat anybody and everybody, including China, in manufacturing cost in the world. So we have a great opportunity. Certain policy related issues need to be addressed, certain direction need to be given, and certain things at a central level to be done to provide support to the small manufacturers in the country. Thank you.